The Packers kicked off organized team activities this week, and the prime story was none other than Jordan Love, first-year starting quarterback. In his first look during OTAs, Jordan looks comfortable. He works through some read option type actions here. Could also be in an RPO. But ultimately, he just looks and sounds more confident out there on the field. You'll see that here in this little snippet of an interview he did that day.
Feels good. I think there's a lot of energy out there. I'm excited to be out there, being the guy, excited to be around these guys and just get a chance to get more reps and just start building that chemistry with everybody.
Whole operation, the process, their ability to go out there, make great decisions, throw on time, throw with accuracy, so every play that is dissected, I would say, or looked at under a microscope, and trying to be super intentional about what we ask him to do. And certainly I think we got to see what everybody else can do around him as well.
And here you see Jordan hitting one of those guys in the corner of the end zone, Christian Watson, someone that is expected to continue his ascension in year 2. His likely running mate and number 2 receiver, Romeo Doubs, is somebody that the Packers expect will continue to rise as well. Both showed promise in 2021, flashing at times and showing promise for what the future at the wide receiver position might be. But given their youth, there's a possibility for inconsistency.
It's not perfect right now, and we know it's not going to be perfect. So I think the meter for us is just continue building, make sure we're doing the right things in the right place on routes and route depth, timing, things like that, working that, building that trust on just taking the meeting room to the field and make sure everything's dialed in that aspect.
I expect that the Packers offense will look a bit different in 2023. A younger, more mobile quarterback should lend itself to a little bit more mobility, and then also some of the motion concepts and being more multiple in their offensive formations will be more common. Not to mention, they'll likely attack the middle of the field a bit more. Here we see quarterback Jordan Love throwing to receivers on the far side of the field, while backup quarterback Danny Itling works at the tight ends on the near side. On the topic of tight ends, you see here second-round pick Luke Musgrave taking a pass from Jordan Love. And here your other rookie tight end, Tucker Kraft, going to the corner of the end zone. And you certainly can't forget the running backs with dynamic guys like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in the mix. Jones spent a portion of his offseason already working with Love to get on the same page, and expects to spend more time in the break before training camp.
We got to make the most of every rep, every opportunity, every day that we're here together. And then that's why I went to California to work with him. Just trying to get on the same page. We know it's going to be very vital during the season.
What were those workouts like?
It was very insightful, a lot of learning for me. I have played out there a little bit in the receiver position, but hadn't necessarily been taught all the ways and releases and things like that. So I end up learning a lot out there, and planning to go back out there once we get that little break.
So you're going to fight Christian for wide receiver number 1?
No. He can have it. I'm just here to help him.
Aaron Jones is taking great steps to fill the leadership void left by Aaron Rodgers, and we expect A.J. Dillon to bounce back from a slightly down 2021 season. And the offensive line who will block for them is a strength on this Packers team. While Bakhtiari and Jenkins were absent from OTAs, that gives opportunities to some of these young guys like a Zach Tom to play in other positions across the line and show where they might best fit into that starting 5.
At this time of the year, we kind of experiment with a lot of these guys, but yeah, absolutely, he's a viable candidate to potentially be inside. We need more than one guy to snap, and we always want to try to train 3 or 4 guys to be able to get that done.
As we transition to take a look at the defensive side of the ball, we see the safety addition Tarvarius Moore. But when talking about the defense, we need to talk about guys that we're hoping to see make an earlier comeback than later in Eric Stokes and Rashawn Gary. Here we see Eric Stokes doing some light jogging and movement drills during warm-ups as he works his way back from a torn meniscus and a Liz Frank injury that he suffered in his foot last season in Week 9. And along the edge, we sorely missed Rashawn Gary last year. It's good to see him out there in the green and gold again, doing what he can while he works his way through, physical therapy and his way back as he recovers. I look forward to the day when we see Rashawn and first-round pick Lucas Van Ness coming off the edges, bearing down on quarterbacks. Speaking of LVN, the dude is a monster. I mean, look at the size of this guy. Working out the edge, he looks like he was made to play this position.
Yeah, I think he's done a nice job, and certainly you can see the skill set that he possesses. I mean, he's a big, strong, fast guy that he's a worker, and that's all you can ask for. And we're going to keep on, putting more on his plate and see what he can handle and see how he, adapts and learns the speed and the techniques that you got to use at this level.
You see some of his quickness on display here in this drill where he's reading the offensive lineman in run support. And then some of the technique work here that he's working on to develop his hands as he sheds blocks to make a play. And then the big question in the secondary is the safety position. Here we see Jonathan Owens, the recent signing, the Texans starting safety all last year, and then Tarvarius Moore as well, working through some defensive back drills. And then closing this video out with a bit of special teams as we see Samori Toure working as a gunner downfield against UDFA cornerback William Hooper. Well, there you have it. There's a good bit of the footage that we were able to get from some of the reporters that were on site during day 2 of OTAs this week. And there'll be more coming next week. So make sure to, if you appreciated this video, like the video and then subscribe to the channel, as we'll see this again next week and continually throughout the rest of the off season.